It's almost good.
Hello, lovely. Give me just a second, trying to get everything on here going. I was trying to get Mike's live up and going. I reunited with my grandma today. That is awesome, lovely. It's always good to reunite with family members. Give me just a second. I want to go over here and speak to Mike right quick. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back over here. All right. We got Carlos. So what's up, y'all? Pops, no audio. Yeah. So what's up, y'all? Yeah, I got audio. I was over in
The 99, 35th anniversary.
I jumped over to Mike's
Where
there.
is Henry?
Hold on.
Well, he would be in a whiny butt, and he didn't want to get out in the cold. So, I guess he thinks he's a dog now, so he wants to sit in and lay on the couch. So, you know how that is, Randy.
All right, let's see. Lovely, it's been 11 years.
I know.
I understand, Lovely. I went like 6 without talking to my family.
I call him an ass hat.
Carlos said, just kidding. I know, I got you. I'm gonna,
But anyway, I've got some parts in.
all right, there, I can't do that. Let's see, let's go back over here. And, Carlos said, just kidding. Yeah, I understand. Like I said, Mike does have a live going on, and I was trying to, spread the love with Mike. I got him on the big TV down there. How's everybody doing today? Tonight, this afternoon, however you want to say it. See, Rumple says, hello, Pops. Oh, fancy mug. Thank you. That's our Never Done Projects mug. And Kevin said, hello, brother. Hello, Kevin. Rumple said, big boys, hello. 8 people in here, 3 thumbs up. I know 2 of them are mine. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. 1 of them's mine. Now 2's mine. Daniel said, happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday to you too, Daniel. I appreciate y'all stepping in. Smile says, yo, so if a hypothetical Latina party hits you up and she asks for pics when you send yours only. Well, I wouldn't be sending pics anyway, Smiley. That's not, especially, I don't think that's a way to be doing things. Rumple said, oh, I'm doing heavy-headed, just got off a hell of a debate live. Phew, well, I kind of try to stay away from the debates. Call this up, Rumple. Whoop, whoop. 9 people in here, 6 thumbs up. Kevin said, did you know that the universe was the size of the sun? Earth would be the size of an atom? I probably learned that in school, but I didn't think I was ever going to go to the sun or anything, so I probably didn't listen. So I probably heard it before. Lovely Lucy says, yeah, I had to go to Jackson Hospital on my way there currently. Well, lovely. Like I said, I hope everything goes goes great for you. Let me see if I can translate this to English to see what's going on. Mordizel says hello and brother. Mordizel, I'm probably saying it wrong. If I am, I apologize. Daryl said Randy, hello. Jane said, hey, Pops. Hey, Jane. Rose says, what are you saying? I'm reading what you're writing. Maria says, hi, Randy. Hello, Maria. Rumple said, I had another bowl of soup today. Rumple said, Metal, hello. Carlos said, never trust an Adam. They make up everything. I like it, Carlo. Rumple said, Jane, hello. Daryl said, what's there? Matt is being transferred to Lucy. Mother said, I speak Persian. I do not, so I had to translate what you got. Maria said, bye, Randy. All right, Maria, have a good one. Be careful. Sleep well. Daryl said, Rumple. Grandma said, hi, Pops. Rumple said, Rumple, self hello. Annie says, hey, Pops, how are you today, honey? I'm doing well. Connor said, hi. Jane said, hey, Rumple. Hugh says, hey, Rumple, get low. It's getting ahead of me. John Deere, let me stop it right here for just a second. John Deere said, what's up, everybody? I'm here. Hope everything's going good. Randy, hope you like the song I made went live not long ago. I've not seen it yet. I'm sorry. Maria's sleepy. I understand, Maria. You do say, I hope your exams went well. Hugh said, hello, Randy. Lovely said, yep, I'm going there to meet my new medical team. Like I said, again, I hope everything goes good. Grandma says, hey, Mac, damn 66 says, would you box Jake Paul? Nope, I don't. I think boxing's one of the stupidest things. Now, with that being said, I can go in there and pretend like the rest of them do for the right amount of money, but no, I don't give a dang about boxing. Kevin says, no, I'm just giving you a manifestation on how small Earth is compared to the universe. Oh, I know it's small compared to the universe. You're exactly right. You said, hello, Maria. Grandma said, Grandma says, hello, Jane. Rumple, hello, Grandma. Rumple said, Grandma, hello. Jane said, hey, Daryl, engine sounds great. Yes, it does, Jane. Carlos says, hello, Jane. Rich said, howdy. Hugh said, hello, Kevin. Grandma says, hi, Maria. Jane said, hi, Hugh. Hugh says, hello, Carlo. Daryl says, Jane. Annie, Hugh, and Grandma. Let's see. What'd you do? Let's see. Jane said, hi, Carlo. I missed that one. Sorry. Hugh says, hello, Rumple. Grandma said, hi, Annie. Daryl said, Jacob. Grandma said, hi, Big Boy Toys. Hugh said, hey, Rich. Migo says, best stream on YouTube. Well, thank you. Grandma says, hi, Shirley. Hello, Lovely says, Hugh. Grandma says, hi, Migo. John Deere says, hello, what's up? I'm going to make some of these hellos and go down here to Rumple said, Shirley, get hired by SpaceX. All right. Mando says, Hackey says, no, I'm not racist. I think we're all human. Eli says, you look like interstate kids. Okay. Grandma says, Grandvito Vic. Annie says, hey. Caddy says, thank you, Jesus, for the hole in the... Oh, no. We're not doing that. Not doing that at all. Thank you, Daryl. Carlos says, hello, Annie. Hugh says, hello, Annie. Joe says, well, what do y'all do here? We meet up every day at 6, from 6 to 8, and talk and have a good time. Enjoy everything. Let's see. Wait, did you see the pic I sent? I have not. I've not been away from my phone a big part of the day. Really hadn't messed with it. I'll have to check it out. Daryl said, Lucy, Matthew Schrader. John Deere says, what's up, Rumple? Lovely says, who's Matt? Daryl, if you want to, just hide him from the channel. Jane says, hi, Maria. Oh, well, you did 60 seconds. If you want to hide him for good, I'm not listening to that crap. Carla said, "What's up, Jacob?" John Deere said, "What's up, big boys?" Marie says, "No, I didn't think you're human. You're a tomato." Oh, yeah. I got that one. I responded. I thought, "How was your tomato soup?" It was. He said it was better the next day than yesterday, but it was just as good today as it was yesterday. It was good. I can tell you that. Lovely said, "Is Matt another kid?" Marie says, "Hi, Jane." Rumple says, "Maria, hello." Ab says, "I bet you want I bet you went to the Diddy party." I have no idea where Diddy had a party. Rumple said, "Maria gets right to it, doesn't beat around." No. Maria says, "Hello, Rumple." Ease Matt says, "Do you going sore?" I don't know what that is. Crypto Tucker says, "Hello." Matt says, "How do I get jacked like you?" Just keep eating little Debbie cakes. Alex said, "AC check in, AC unit check in." It's still in the Volvo. Kinsley said, "Hey." Hello, Kinsley. Here we go. Where we at? I just missed Kinsley. Here it is. Grandma says, "What, you want to come in here, be nice? We all trying to have a nice time." Exactly. Thank you, Grandma. Avi says, "Hi." Maria says, "Randy calling a tomato soup is good. That's insane. It's not a tomato soup. It's vegetable soup." Let's see. Avi said this. Leave us. Zoe says, yo, shout out John Cena. There is he. Where is he? I have no idea. Lovely Lucy said, if there's author kid, then we are probably going to the same hospital. Abby says, you built like a juggernaut. Man. Somebody get ABBAS some glasses, please. Grandma said, "Hi, Crypto." Abby says, "Say hi to my guinea pigs too, please. Their names are Jules." Well, hello, Jules. Daryl said, "Randy, you should play the troll song I made y'all a while back." Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't find it, Daryl. I know Randy could probably tell you right where it is. I have no clue where it's at on this computer. Maria says, "I made mac and cheese today. I sent a pic of it. It was good. I had to check it out." Hi, Brow says, "What's a fact you know that we may not know?" Life's about making yourself happy, not everybody else. Don't worry about what everybody else. That's a pure fact. Only you can make you happy. Daryl said, "Matt is an adult." Zoe said, "America, woohoo!" Annie says, "Oh, sorry, Crash." Dustin says, "Have you ever met a famous person?" No, I don't think so. Kevin said, "You are a good man." Thank you, Kevin. Carlos says, "Hello, lovely." Maria said, "It's a tomato soup. I've never seen so much tomatoes in my life as much as I've seen in the soup." Well, believe me, it had just as much carrots. I hate tomatoes. I can only eat carrots if I've got ranch dressing, but I had tomatoes, carrots, onions, and I hate onions, but it was a good soup. I will have to say that. Let's see. And it had meat in it too, and it was not human meat. Grandma said, "Yes, he is, Kevin." And Maria says, "Don't change names to Tomato Man." Crypto has been studying my Bible a lot and loving it since I retired. Awesome. Grandma says, "Amen, Crypto." Olivia says, "Kevin, what are you, why are you sucking up?" Kevin's not sucking up. That's just Kevin. He likes talking to me. Don't be mean to him, Olivia. Jane said, "Olivia, be nice." Miss So said, "Olivia is a princess." Maria says, "What do you want then? Pepsi soup, ice cream soup?" Yeah, shoot, yeah. Now, I will say I did not eat any ice cream last Yeah, I did not eat any ice cream before I went to bed last night, so I didn't have any. I don't think I had none yesterday at all. I hadn't had any today. Grandma said, hi, Olivia, hon, how are you feeling today? And how is Boggy? Adam Waterbury says, hi, hello, Adam. Kevin retracted his message. Hugh says, hello, Olivia. Jane says, put ice cream and Pepsi soup. It's not a bad idea, Jane. Make me a Pepsi float, can't I? Daryl said, tomato soup is not soup. Why do people use spoons, pick it up, and drink it already? I know, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't tomato. This is actually vegetable soup and had meat and diced tomatoes in it. Lever said, Ms. O, I don't see a crown, so try again. Miss O said, justice for Olivia. Maria says, you hate everything good. That's right. Hugh said, Pepsi float. Kevin K says, he's got to be nice with a name like that. Grandma said, hi, Adam Waterbury. John Deere says, you have to check out my song I made you, Randy, when you get time. I'll be glad to. Olivia said, Grandma, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, let's let that not there lay for a while, please. Maria said, stop thinking about ice cream. I wasn't thinking about it. I thought you brought it up. Cam the Rock says, hey, man, just wanted to say that Jesus loves you and he died for your sins. Man, love you, man, and may God be with you today. Hey, man. Cam the Rock, thank you very much. I read your comment, but we do not do politics or religion in here because it is worldwide and we don't want to, cause controversy. I know where I stand on the subject, but thank you for your comment. Rumble said, Ghostly, hello. John Deere said, Randy, you better watch Long Wrench's garage. He'll steal your Pepsi. Mike don't have to. Hey, Mike can have a Pepsi anytime he wants one. Grandma said, okay, sorry, Olivia. Carlos says, hello, friends. Olivia. Oh, so Olivia's not your friend? Just playing, Carlo. Adam Waterbury says, thank you, Grandma Vic. Man who needs cookies says, sir, I will pay you to use me as a human toilet. Man, that's about disgusting, but no thank you. John Deere said, hey, said hi. Daryl said, I can't eat cookie tomatoes, fresh, cold, and on a burger or salad. I normally don't, but I'm just going to tell you that soup that Chester made, it was good. And he came over here and spent the bigger part of the day just sitting there talking to me. So I didn't get much done today, but it was nice sitting there talking to him. He seemed to enjoy it. Maria said we had tomato soup for lunch. It has meat and potato cubes. That ain't tomato soup then. That's vegetable soup. Rumple says when you get canned soup, you pick it up and drink it. But if you are cooking it from scratch, you gotta savor it with a spoon. Maria said no. Let's change the subject. Sounds like a good idea. Olivia says, Grandma, sorry, it's not that I'm being, I just don't have the heart to keep saying what happened. Yeah, they got a lot going on. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Rumple said, soup with carrots. WD313, are you feeling Randy in your chair wearing orange and blue? Oh, where's my blue jeans? Maria says, I know what you're talking about, ice cream. Why are you talking about it then? Olivia said, Miss O, you're annoying me. Stop. Rumple said, yeah, politics gets you in a different kind of soup. We like that soup. Olivia said, hey, Carlo. Team Richard B said, hi, boss. Hello. Hey, we got 16 people, 16 thumbs up. Thank y'all. Grandma said, okay, sorry, Olivia. Okay. Carlos said, that's called a stew, Maria, not a soup. There you go, Carlo. I like that. Miss O said, I'm impressed that you read all the chat. Most streamers can't. I try my best. Miss O said, good job. WD313 says, Do you love cake? Chocolate cake? Yes. Grandma said, hi, Richard. Maria said, how old is Chester now? 86 years old yesterday. Rumple said, yeah, that's a stew. Daryl said, tonight's premiere is 33 minutes long. Rumple said, not carrots, pops, croutons. Oh, sorry. I was in a hurry. Sorry about that. Richard B. said, Grandma and Hugh, hello. Maria says, Dracula died when he put garlic near him, but Randy dies when you put the tomato. Pretty close. A bunch of tomatoes. Jane said, hi, Richard. Olivia says, as for Boggy, he doing better. He has shut it and is eating now and able to carry himself with more strength. That's good. Rumple said, Maria, it's like kryptonite. That's right. Carlos said, sup, Richard B. The Pokey said, hello, my brother. Happy New Year. May I ask you a question? If it's a good question, not some BS, I'll be glad to. You can ask it. Maria said, stop mentioning ice cream. Well, stop writing it because I'm the one that's reading it. Richard B. said, Jane. E. Lowe says, I liked. Thank you. How many bodies do you have, and does your baby's mother know? How many bodies do I have? I have no baby bodies, and my baby's mother knows pretty much everything. I don't understand the question. I mean, but anyway, Kevin said, thank you, brother. Jane said, 86. Grandma said, good to know. Thank you, Olivia. Richard B. says, hit the like button. Olivia says, yeah, always, Grandma. The Truth said, Dixon Cider is in the house. What's going on today? Fire. Hugh says, hello, Richard B. Maria says, he's a healthy man. That's why he lived long, because he's healthy vegetable soup. And Rumple says, Gelato then? Lovely says, hey, the hospital I'm going to is for children only. Okay. Daryl said, ice cream. Blacked out says, I can tell you're a predator. Really? Dang. I guess it takes one to know one then. Grandma says, hi, the truth. Daryl said, ice cream. Olivia said the truth and don't tell the truth. And, well, you do, buddy. Daryl said, I see Lucy. Rumple said, Metal Large laughing. Blacked out says, creep it. Real, you look like a predator. Like I said, let's take one to know one. Maria says, if you have to get one tattoo, where and how the tattoo going to be? It would be on my back. It would have Hutchins across my back with a brick wall and a rat with a skull face like he's carving it in with a knife. I've thought about it. I'm not going to get a tattoo, but if I got one, it would be across my back, just like that. No, it would not be a tomato. Yeah, he is a predator of idiots for sure. Yeah, I just drummed a couple up, didn't I, Hugh? Daryl says, keep the chat clean, politics free, religion free. Thank you. Rumple says, well said, Hugh. Maria says, I can't wait till I have my first tattoo. Aaron says, hi, everyone. Wall looks great. Thank you, Aaron. 18 people, 19 thumbs up. Daryl says, I have 34 tats, Maria. Maria says, don't say ice cream. I won't say ice cream. Only when people write it out. Olivia said, Pops, read the truth sentence real closely and slowly. He get you to say something bad. That's why I'm trying not to do it. Team Richard said, Metal Art, hi. And Maria says, wow, that's cool. Lovely says, you can't see me, Daryl. Sky says, do you and your friends take turns reading chat? Because I see you, the other guy with the black beard. That's my son. We do this together. Sometimes we switch off, but he's not here. It'd be all me tonight. Kevin said, will you be the first person to get $10,000 once I win the lottery? I appreciate it. Richard B says, Maria, hi. Olivia says, I have a tattoo. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Matthew Schrader says, man, these people at Jackson Darslow. Spartus is, I think it's Spartus, says Trump Maxwell 2028. We don't do politics, please. Grandma says hi, Aaron. Hughes says hi, Aaron. Daryl says Matt. Hughes says hello, Matthew. Jinx said, yep, that's the game. John Deere said ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Joking. Grandma said, hi, Matthew. How are you feeling today? Flat Creek says, can I get a shout out? Flat Creek Hunting has a shout out there. Daryl says, I heard ice cream. Aaron says, found out today we are having our second grandson gender reveal. Awesome, Aaron. Daryl says, I like ice cream. Marissa, that's too much ice cream. There's no such thing as too much ice cream. Daryl says, congrats, Aaron. Grandma said, congratulations, Aaron. Hughes says, I have tattoos. Matt said, would you ever if these people weren't so slow, Grandma? Let's see. Olivia said, surprise, LOL. M said, yeah, I like jazz. You said, congrats, Aaron. Aaron says, hi, Grandma. Matthew says, hi, Daryl. Hi, Hugh. Daryl says, I want to do a few cover-up tattoos. Grandma says, Matthew. Olivia says, ice cream. Kevin says, I always wanted a tattoo. Olivia says, why, Mac? Kevin says, tattoo. Hugh says, back to work finally tomorrow. Hugh says, I hate not working. Dang. Carlos says, my name is Ice Cream. Maria, blah, blah. Aaron said, thanks, guys. Team Richard said, just come to me. There's plenty of free ice cream outside the house. Grandma says, I have 12 tattoos. Hugh said, there is no such thing as too much ice cream. Squeak says that is your favorite type of gas for use for a torch. I don't even know what kind of gas I use. To be honest with you. Jane said, "Congrats, Aaron." Garrett says, "Gran, can you go to work for me? I'll stay home. I'm with you, Garrett. He can go for me too." Daryl said, "Because I was younger and dumb, putting dragons on my body." Hugh said, "Roll on the floor, laughing his ass off, Richard B." Olivia says, "I need ice cream." Grandma said, "Lowell, Richard." Aaron said, "Thank you, Jane." Kevin says, "I want a tattoo of a tiger on my chest with its nails running down my arm." Cool. Richard said, snow is ice. Hugh said, "Hello, Garrett." Hornby Man retracted his message. "Hello, Hornby." Hugh said, "Laugh." Jane says, "Hi, Garrett." Hornby Man said, "Best drink in USA is OJ." Grandma said, "Hi, Garrett." Carlos said, "What's up, Richard?" Maria said, "I swear I dream about ice cream today. You probably will." CQ said, "I sell propane and propane accessories." Yep, and we use them. You said the Grummet OJ. Grandma said, "How is school going, Maria?" Maria said, "A huge ice cream running after me after the Randy Disco party." Team Richard said, "Big boys, whoop." Daryl says, "Why would you dream about ice cream if you don't like ice cream?" Olivia says, "What about a root beer float?" I don't care for root beer. The Truth says, is asking your thoughts on Hugh in the close talking about politics. If it's got anything to do with politics, we're not going to talk about it. I don't even know who Hugh is. John Deere says, "I don't like tattoos." Maria said, "Remember, everybody likes different things. If we didn't, we'd all be the same and life would be boring." Maria said, "It's all gone, Grandma. I finished my first exam this week. Today it was good. How did you do? Did you pass?" Grandma said, "That would be good with vanilla ice cream." Ghostly Hornby said, "If there are cats in the U.S., I would say there was cats in the U.S. Maria said, "I can't control my dreams. If I saw something or read it a lot, I'll definitely dream about it." Ohio said, "Hi, that's the Popcorn Man." Hello, Popcorn Man. John Deere said root beer and ice cream, yum. You scream ice cream. We all scream ice cream. Maria said, oh, good. Carlos said, Jacob, have you heard Minister GUC, you are all that matters? 19 people, 22 thumbs up. Grandma says, great, Maria, I'm very happy for you. Lovely Lucy said, hey, Matt, did you make it to the Jackson? Hugh said, difference interest equals interesting, same equals boring, and not worth a flip. That's right. Rumble said, that's root beer. What's root beer like? We don't get that here. I think it's nasty, but somebody else might can help you. I have no idea. John Deere said, ever eat a cat? Is it bigger? Is the bigger question. If you eat Chinese, you probably eat cat. Hugh said, it's good, brother. John Deere said, what are you talking about, big boy toys? Hugh said, hello, Gator. Daryl said, I stay away from Chinese restaurants, Gator. Grandma said, hi, Gator. Jennifer says, handsome man. Well, of course. Olivia said, it's sweet and bubbly and loaded with carbs, carbon monoxide. Jennifer said, hi. Hello, Jennifer. Jay said, hi, Gator. Maria said, yes, today I had my computer exam. They asked me how to show how to do some things in computer and finished. Gator said, hey, Jane and crew. Hello, Gator. Grandma says, hi, Jennifer. Rumble said, ghostly licorice taste, earthly. Maria said, Chinese people don't eat cats. Stop saying that. Now, Maria. Gator said, Vix and anyone I missed. Maria said, at least not all Chinese people. Hugh said, Rome, Maria. Whee! Kevin said, I had a dream that I drifted my car and crashed, and the police came and opened the trunk, and there was water park. And the damage, I got paid lots of insurance money for it. All right. Abdulucius, did you hear Trump licked Clinton's butt? Not the channel for that, buddy. We don't do politics. You said the Chinese restaurants in Miami got in trouble for cooking up the cats in the neighborhood. Belucius back said, weird. Hornbow man's got a... I don't know what that is, but Matthew said, yeah, I did get this place started to piss me off already. So I'm going to predict 3-wheel is going to show up real soon. Carlos said, Jacob. Maria said, is that true? Yeah, that's true, Maria. Several Chinese restaurants got in trouble for it. Hugh said, roll on the floor, laugh his ass off. Maria said, M&M, it's not earthly, but it does bear resemblance to the candy you say, not a lot, though. It really has its own taste. You said, yes, Maria. They eat cats and dogs. Lovely Lucy says, are you at Jackson Children's Hospital, Matt? Maria says, and now he's drinking blood. Wow. Jennifer said, business free grant, email me. Mythical Fortnite says Minnesota should be run by Somali. Okay. Rumpel said, okay, thanks, Olivia. Grandma said, hi, laugh, Kevin. Maria says, I can't believe that until I see it, Hugh. Dubois is laughing. Maria says it's mixed well with vanilla or something like that. Let's see. Maria said, you don't know the restaurant's name. It was a big write-up about it. They got several of them, Maria. Hugh said, because they've done such a great job already. I enjoy licking butts. Okay. Whatever. Rumpel said, Olivia, oh, nice. Gotta try one day. Daryl says, easy, Matt. Hornby said, it's a cat emoji shock face. Oh, okay. Kevin said, I went to the Thailand and they serve a live monkey at the table with the scallop open and they were picking its brains with a spoon. I've seen that before on faces of death before the monkey's put in there alive, and they take their spoon and hit him. And the first person to kill him, they get break his skull. They get to eat the first bite of the brain. Maria says, "How can this be legal? It's not illegal. I mean, it's not legal. That's how they got in trouble." The Bang says, "Do you believe Jesus Christ is coming back? We do not do politics or religion in here. Thank you for your comment." Hugh said, I've seen it. Because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen." Olivia says, "Okay, I spent." Jennifer says, "Email me for business grants applications." Andy said, "Jesus already came." Carlos said, "Is a Nigeria Christian worship song Jacob is called You Are all that Matters." Annie says, "Do you need help live?" Daryl is staying busy tonight. Hugh says, "It's not legal. That's why they were closed down." Grandma says, "Great answer, Andy, and so true." Hugh said, "Yes, it is delicious there." John Deere said, "Hit the like button, guys." Liv said, "No, I want to be alone, hence why I kicked Kobe out of my room." Lovely Lisa said, "Sorry, Matt." 17 people, 25 thumbs up. I finally got caught up. Matthew said, "It's okay, Lucy, but no, I am not a kid." Maria says, "When are you having your hair back?" I'm not. Annie says, "Okay, Liv, get some rest. I'll make you something to eat in a second." Kevin said, monkey brain. Rumble said, "There's a fatal disease called Kuru. Comes from consuming brains. Starts in Papua New Zealand cannibalism." It would not surprise me whatsoever, but I think that would be disgusting. But if you listen to Maria, you never know what we might be eating here. Maria's got it in her mind that here in the U.S. we got dead bodies here at the shop. Maria said, "Good night for real. Wish me luck for tomorrow's exam." Good luck on tomorrow's exam, Maria. Rumpel said, "Some sort of ritual for honoring the dead." Not for me. Daryl said, "Smash the like button and subscribe, y'all." Yes, please. Lovely. Yeah, I'm not even at Jackson yet. Olivia says, "Okay, good night, all." Good night, Olivia. Thank you for stopping in. Do appreciate it. We really do. All of our prayers are going out for y'all and the family. Daryl says, "Fortnite Ghost League." Or was that supposed to be good night because I've got it translated? Kevin said, "They said Ebola came from eating monkeys, but I think it was BS. I think someone was having an affair." You're probably right. Rumble said, "Maria, good night. Best of luck." John Deere said, "Hi." Hello, John Deere. 16 people in here, 26 thumbs up. Rumble said, "Ghostly, later, thumbs up and waving." Lovely Lucy said, "Eventually it's right next to Jackson Hospital. They are across the road from each other." Daryl says, "Oh, I have fat fingers. Good night, Olivia." I think she knew what you meant. "17 people in here, 26 thumbs up. John Deere said, "Prayers for Lovely. Everybody pray for her to get better. Much love, John Deere. Faith to her buddy with a red heart." Carla says, "I'll make room for two." Ooh, "I'll make room for two. You and I, Jesus. You are all that matters. You are all that matters." Okie dokie. 20 people in here, 26 thumbs up. Daryl says, "Back to 4 days a week, Randy." Yes. And Randy is on first shift this week on the local train, about 15 minutes from here. So hopefully he'll be getting done and getting here a little bit earlier this week. I do. He came here and we did the live this morning. He had to leave. He wasn't able to come back, so I do have to do the video for tonight, unless he's got one I don't know about. Annie says, I didn't know that you was signing up to hold down the whole house. Gator said, I had a dang good breakfast this morning. Yes, we did. Daryl said, I'm still drinking coffee. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Holy Dixon says, hi, remember me? Yes, I remember. Gator says, bee and gravy was extra good, though. Grandma says, thank you for your live, Pops. Have a great night, and God bless you and the family. You too, Grandma. Thank you for stopping in. Lovely Lucy said, yeah, let's not talk religion here, please. I am baptized, so if you start that, this place will look like a church, and that's not what you want. And he said, I'm sorry, typing fast. Grandma says, gotta cook dinner. All right, Grandma, thank you. Me-Fan says, good morning, sir. Good morning, E-Fan. Me-Fan, sorry. Jane said, take care, Grandma. Daryl said, I think I heard him say the exhaust was set for tomorrow. I may be wrong. I thought that's what he said, but I don't know if he's already done the video. Maybe he'll come in here and tell me, and maybe I just have to upload it. That'd be awesome. Because I really don't feel like doing it tonight, but I bet you I'll have to. But we will see. Real Thief says, do you have that if that's supposed to be a Bible verse, we don't do religion in here. Thank you for the thing. We're not even going to have that conversation. Grandma said, good night, everyone. God bless you all and family. Good night, Grandma. Gator says, anyone ever have a crappie? You talking about a crappie as in fish? Hugh said, bye, Grandma. Jane said, I make mean biscuits and gravy. So does Lotus. Daryl said, no politics or religion. Sophia retracted her message. Kevin said, politics is banned. Memory says, hi, everyone. I baked an apple pie today. Awesome. Kevin said, I hope you have a long life. Me too. Gator said, Scrapple. I don't know what that is, Gator, so I don't guess I've had one. Jane said, that's Snapple. Snapple is a drink. It has fruit juices in it, don't it? 21 people in here, 28 thumbs up. I know Snapple is a drink, but no, Gator said no, it's a meatloaf of sort. I have not, Gator. G-Man said, politics is that never done project should be president. Y'all wouldn't like me as president, I would say. Kevin said, please don't trust Bugs Bunny, brother. I trust Bugs Bunny. Gator says, made from hog intestines. It's really good. No, I'm not eating it. Duff said. Jay said, oh, nope, I was thinking Snapple. 20 people in here, 31 thumbs up. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Yeah, jump over and subscribe if you hadn't. We're working on them subscriber counts. We like to get them things up. John Deere said, whoops, like. Oh, I read it right, so don't worry about it. John Deere, Jacob. James said, hey, no, thanks, Gator. Gator says, when you get here, I'm going to cook it and not tell you. Oh, okay. Hunter said, hi, I'm new here. Well, hello, Hunter. Welcome. G-Man says, I've liked and subscribed. Thank you, G-Man. Lovely Lucy said, okay, I'm really not trying to make y'all upset, but I was baptized when I was 10. And so 6 years ago, because I went to church all the time, I went to Bible study. My school only skipped once. That's awesome, Lovely. Like I said, we don't do that, but we understand, and we understand you're proud of it. We're happy for you and glad. Daryl's jumping in here with tapping times 2 with more Mac. Thank you, Daryl. Kevin says, I had raw liver once when I was a kid, and I've been craving it since. Ooh, you would have to trick me on that too, but you, with my eyes closed, for shove it down my throat or something before I'd eat liver. Lovely Lucy, not trying to break any rules or anything. Annie says, Pops, you eat hot dogs and sausage, right? Yes, we're not getting into that neither. I know it's whatever's left over. I do. I get that. I understand. Hunter says, I'm liking and subscribing right now. Thank you, Hunter. Jane said, we'll leave it light. I mean, like on. Daryl said, I like the pick for the live. Thank you. Richard B says, Hunter, yes. 22 people, 34 thumbs up. Dr. Ram said, Jesus is good. Martin says, hi, hello. Rando says, hey, random guy said, hey, hello, random guy. Kevin said, trust me, brother, eat it raw. When it's cooked, it's nasty. I'm not eating it at all. Richard said, hit the like. Annie said, you also know that it helps the most, right? Gator's got pig plate heart. Timothy said, yo, mama thick. Lovely Lucy said, Octo, no religion, please. 21 people, 35 thumbs up. Simply 777 said, Baldy over there, what's it like having no hair? Is it hot or is it cold? Because I'm not bald. If it's hot, it's hot. If it's cold, it's cold. If it's hot, you keep something around to wipe your sweat off your head because it will run into your eyes. If it's cold, you better put something on it because it will get cold and you will be very cold. But there's no feeling like it. When I go to the beach and ride the motorcycle with no helmet on, there's nothing like it when the wind goes over your head and there's no hair to flop around. Same way with no shirt on. If you're going in and you've shaved your chest and everything, there's no hair flap around. It feels so good. Lovely said, Simple, please don't be rude. He wasn't being rude. He was making a rhyme, I guess. And he said, yeah, the intestines of an animal break down, and it pretty much is the same build as your intestines, feminine protein compound. Yes. Kevin says, has anyone ever been rude with you in person for being bald, or is it just the internet thing? It's just the internet thing. Most people don't say anything when you're face to face. People are real 6 foot bulletproof when they're behind the computer. Oliver Storm said, does your head get sunburnt easily? Yes, it does. In the sun, I do have to wear sunscreen on my head, and that hurts. I've been sunburnt on the rest of my body, but when your head gets sunburnt, that hurts. DGAF says, random question. Do you like sunflower seeds? I do, but I think it's too much trouble to eat them, so I don't eat them. Lovely Lucy says, my beard bud died. DeGav said, Mike Tyson said everyone has a plan until they punched in the faith. And he says, Olivia will say it to your face. Then again, you know she doesn't mean it. Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, I think the world of Olivia, but she will say some things that, but again, Olivia will be Olivia, and we think the world of her. Bowles says, will there be a funeral? Kenneth said, nothing wrong with being forcefully challenged. What? I don't know what that means. If you're talking about my death, no, there will not be a funeral. Unless you know me personally, you will not even know I died because I will be burnt and nothing will be put out about it. Daryl said, I just wear a hat. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Rumple said, Sleepy Pops, take care, everyone. Catch you later. See you, Rumple. Thanks for stopping in. Lotus said, hello. DGAF says some people have never been slapped before and it shows. Yes. Daryl says I do to use sunscreen stuff. Lotus said small soup. I may be changing it because I've got translating on. Daryl said Mac. Lovely said no, it's just the battery died like an earbud. Lotus says hi Annie. Daryl says Lotus. Roscoe's got American flags. Annie says, hey, Lotus. Roscoe said, God bless. Lovely Lucy said, or whatever you call them. Simply said, do you hunt? I do not. Scott said, what's up, brother? Hello, Scott Hembry. I had a boss man one time named Ricky Hembry. And he said, we could probably say the same about Lotus as well. Balls says I was talking about the earbud dying. Oh, sorry, that went right over my bald head. Jane said bye Rumple and hey Lotus. Lovely said they are Bluetooth earbuds. They have a charger case. Lotus said what I do? Hey Jane, nothing. Carlos said what's up Lotus? Say ho. Daryl said Roscoe and Scott, how y'all doing? 20 people in here, 41 thumbs up. Lotus said, it's like that. Scott said, Daryl. And he says, you're ballsy enough to joke with Pops about being bald in person. It's all good, Annie. It don't matter. And it would be, to me, I would rather you say it in person than on the internet. If you can say it on this internet, you ought to have the guts to say it in person. Jane said, hi, Roscoe. And he said, Lord. Carlos said, what's up, Lotus? Just kidding. 21 people, 41 thumbs up. Power says, God loves you. And you know something? God loves you too. Power said, peace, brother, peace. Thank you for stopping in. If you don't mind, hit that like button, please. And he said, that's why I said joke, because we know Lotus is a sweet angel deep down inside somewhere. Deep down inside somewhere. Power said, I'm sub. Thank you, Power. I appreciate it. I always go through, and if yours is public and it shows up, I sub back. We try to return the favors. Lotus said, for the record, I have never called Randy bald. You know something? I believe you're right. He is. I don't think he's ever made a joke about it. Paul says, people come in here just to hear their comments being read. Pretty shallow, really. Well, you know, I don't care why they come in here. Sometimes they come in here and listen and they like it and they want to stay. There's a handful of people in this world that wants to be a part of what we're doing, and that's what I'm trying to do. John Deere said, what's up, Power? Sub to my channel, please. Jay says, Annie. Poof. Scott says, y'all have a blessed day. You too, Scott. Thank you for stopping in. Michael says, never. Hello, Michael. Hope I said that right. Goldberg. Carlos said, you just did Lotus. No, he just said he hadn't done it. Jane said, hi, Scott. Michael says, hear my comment. Hi, hello. 18 people, 48 thumbs up. Man, I sure would like to get 50 before 7. That'd be awesome. Michael says, I just read that. Scott said, hi, Jane. John Deere said there's haters out there jealous what we got, Randy, because we're popular. Hey, if they're not hating, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Daryl said, see, Scott, people above you don't look down on you. They don't make fun of you. It's only people that don't do what you're doing, what they can't do or won't do. Lotus said, I'm not near as mean as Olivia. Scott says, see you, Daryl. Jay says, if you're heading out, Scott, take care. Kevin said, I will never leave your side. Balls said, nothing against you, sir. More of an observation about your viewers. You ain't bothered me. Daryl said 50 likes. Yes, sir. 23 people, 52 thumbs up. Thank y'all very much. That is before 7 o'clock. That is awesome. Scott said, thank you, Jane. Annie said, that's surprising. Your best friends with Olivia. You don't join 8 on the tomato. Actually, never mind. She usually directly the tomato towards you. To you. Tornado towards you. Okay. Alvin, I maybe said hello. You look familiar. I do porn, so that's probably where you saw me from. Lotus said, yeah, I just deal with the good, I guess. Toban said, hi, hello. C Man says, what's your favorite cologne of all time? Just a straight shower. I don't wear cologne. Hugh said, have a great night, everyone. Getting mess in the kitchen. Blender exploded everywhere. Got to go get it up. All right, Vic, Daryl, Hugh, damn it. You have a good time cleaning up. Thank you for stopping in. It's Olivia. Oh, okay, cool. We got another Olivia. Awesome. Hello, Olivia. Daryl said, see ya, Hugh. Olivia says, it is just spelled differently. Hey, makes sense now that you told me. That's wild. We do have another Olivia in here, though, so I'll have to, if both of you stay in here, I'll have to come up with a different way to call y'all both out. Lewis said, not saying I can't be sarcastic smartass. No, we would never say that. And he said, that's fair, LOL. 16, well, let me look at this. 16 people, 65 thumbs up. Good Lord. Jane said, Lotus, well, that's why we love you. John Deere said, 65 likes. I see that. Carlos said, Lotus going to make a bench trying to visit STS engine 833 with carburetor and wait till you see this thing rev. All right. Ball says, there's a cool thing called speech to chat. I've seen it on Tucker's channel so they keep their eyes on the road. If I was driving, it'd be a great idea. I would love to have it so I could hear all the comments. That would be awesome. And he said that was it. Buggy was saying something about a crash bar. Oh, Andy trying to start something now. Kevin said, I want to like a million times. Well, thank you, Kevin. 15 people, 71 thumbs up, and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. That is awesome. I want to tell each and every one of you, thank you. Sky says, I'll donate if you say I farted. I farted. Now, let's see how true you are. Let's see who's a person of their word. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Sky said, I'll donate if you say I farted. I said it again. That's the last time I read it until I see you donated twice. You put it twice, I said it twice, you got to donate twice. Harry Bird said, who farted? Nobody I know about. Meadow said, let's make 100 tonight. We have an hour. That would be absolutely phenomenal if we could do that. Like I said, I've got 18 people in here, 71 thumbs up. Lovely Lucy said, I show 71. That's what I'm showing right now. And he said, what? No, I'm not starting anything, just saying what Buggy said. Yeah, well, you may not know. I'll give you credit if you don't. But that crash bar thing goes back with Lotus and myself. We've Lotus pushed me pretty hard on a crash bar one time. It wasn't a crash bar, but regardless, there's no hard feelings. Don't think that. But it was kind of funny. Let's see. Lovely Lucy said, I say it makes it to 107, so that is the most likes we ever had before. It'd be awesome. Lotus said, that's a sensitive subject with Randy. Andy said, oh. Daryl said, better yet, let's beat the record of 106 likes. That's what she's saying, and she wanted to be 107 She knows that 106 is the most I've ever had. And he said, so I'm confused. What happened? Well, the story is, as long as I don't get behind, I said I was going to make a brush bar for the front of our Vivo vehicle, a Vivo semi, out of exhaust pipe. And Lotus tried to make me look stupid on live and said I can't make a crash bar out of exhaust pipe, that was stupid. And I wasn't trying to do a crash bar. I was trying to make a brush guard just for looks, not for nothing but looks. They didn't even have to have strength. And we went back and forth about it, and it got a little heated. That's all. Let's see. Ball said, Texas Speak Chat, your son probably can get it set up real easy. I'll have to ask him about it. Harry Bird said someone need the fresh shorts. Daryl said brush guard. Lovely Lucy said, guys, call your friends. 19 people, 73 thumbs up. Lotus said, I never said stupid. You assume that. No, I didn't say you said it. I said you wanted to act like it. I don't think I said it. I'd have to go back and watch it. But he tried to make me look stupid. Let's say it like that. Carlos said, I just had my only fan, Nitro Montana, and I remember to take my pill. And he said, oh, that's a brush guard. Yes, that's it. It's a brush guard. It stops brush, not crashes. Lotus said, I didn't want you to hurt yourself. Forgive me for being worried. Daryl said, 74, yeah. Let's see. Phil says, please respond to your sinful lifestyle and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Phil, how do you know I haven't? If I know you've been in here before, so you probably know this, that we don't do the politics or religion in here, but how do you know that I haven't? And he said, question mark. Lovely Lucy says, I'm going to go on my second account and give you another like. Well, thank you, Lovely. And he said, it stops brush. Well, yes and no. If you brush against it, it'll be okay. If you crash into it, it will not hold up. Lotus said, let's let it go. Yeah, that's a good idea. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. And he said, Lotus, I'm learning. Philip said, God bless you and have a nice day. You too, Phil. Thank you. Jane said, Lowell, I don't think it's as just that statement, but there was a definite accumulation of crap being said. Yes. Lucy's got another thumbs up. Thank you. Daryl said, that guy quit responding on the tube bender, Randy. I guess he don't want to sell it. Oh, really? We found another one up here a lot like the one we got for $5,000. I don't know what that guy was wanting, but Randy sent it to me. I think they would want $5,000 for one like we got, the smaller one. Carlos said, please forgive me. I know what I do. Please forgive me. I can't stop loving you. I think he's quoting a song there. Lotus says, big four-wheel drive trucks, they run through trails, need brush guards so you can run into small trees and brush without messing up the front of your truck. Jane said, Carlo, you're singing to us? And he said, oh, that makes more sense. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. And just so you know, I know we're going to let it go, but just so you know, Annie, mine's a semi. So it's not like I'm going through the woods with it. And I think that's what Carlo was trying, not Carlo, I think that's what Lotus was trying to say. He thought I was doing it for a crash bar on the road, but I was not. It was just strictly for looks. But it was my fault for letting somebody get to me, and I shouldn't, because only you can make yourself happy, and you can let somebody offend you. Nobody else can. They can't offend you unless you let them. ADM said, what's up? Hello, ADM Production. Daryl says, yes, I can't afford that much for sure. Lawson said, I sub. Thank you, Lawson. Lawrence. Lawrence. I may be saying it wrong. If I did, I'm sorry. I always go back every single day, and if it's public, everybody that subbed, I sub back to them. Carlos says, I'm singing to you, Jane. Jane said, Jacob, my like button is broken for smashing it so much. Lotus said, he said to Camaro. When did I say to Camaro? Just now? Hell, I may have. Jane said, and I want to do it for the Camaro too, for to keep if we do bump the wall. But like I said, keep in mind, I said I wanted to put one tube inside of another one to make it reinforced. But anyway, 21 people, 76 thumbs up. It's just now 7:04. Awesome. Let's see. Jane said, I recognize that song, Carlo. Daryl said, I thought Big had some funny pills or something. I know, right? Jane said, hi, Lawrence. Lawrence said, it's okay. It's kind of like the Death Finder on the boats, ain't it? Lawrence. Lotus says, go do a burnout or something. Backflip. And he said, is that what, wait, those big guards in them trucks that have winches? Yes, that's what it is. I was going to build one for the front of Vivo, just strictly for looks. So you could have been said it was a looking bar. Lotus said, yes, Annie. Annie says, like on Boggy's truck. I've never seen Boggy's truck. Lawrence says, hello, everyone. Lawrence said, Layla says, hey, hello, Layla. Lotus said, I don't know what Buggy's truck looks like. Daryl said, when I top truck racing, we did exoskeleton. Layla says, I'm here. Lawrence says, my Jeep just flipped. Oh, no, that's not good. I bet you lost all them damn ducks. Jane said, Lotus, did you see Pops and R3 New Year's when they did the burnout? Looked like a couple of kids when Justin just got there. Geez, when he popped that tire, it was amazing. 15 people, 76 thumbs up. Let's see. Annie says, oh, I'd say do that makes trucks look pretty. Kevin says, if you're happy I am happy. Thank you. Lotus says, I was there, Jane. I saw. Lovely says, hey, Layla. Lotus says, it was epic. Daryl says, on the Jeep, Annie, yes. Lawrence says, Lowell. Buggy says, yes, you have. Jane said, Jeep is lifted, not flipped. Jane said, hi, Layla. Lawrence says, I wished I would flip. Boggy says, don't lie. Lovely Lucy said, let's not endanger the ducks. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Yes, please. We got 13 people, 76 thumbs up. Jane said, hi, Boggy. Daryl said, Boggy. Boggy said, crash bar. Adam said, what's up, Randy? Hello, Adam. Mac said, hello again. Adam said, Daryl. AVA says, hello. Adam said, Jane. Carlos said, I was insane, Pops. Adam said, Boggy. Justin said, dang, 76 likes, I see. Yeah, 77 now. Yeah, make sure we go up, please. Mac McLaurin says, you'll be making homosexual hand parties again this evening like yesterday. Please say, nice, sir. That's enough of that. I won't read another one of your comments if that's what you're going to do. Lotus said she is calling the Jeep a truck because last I checked, Jeeps aren't in the truck game. Adam said, Bug. Lawrence laughing. Boggy said, hey, guys. Adam said, Big Kevin, what's your opinion on this emoji? It looks like somebody's running. Awesome. Adam says, hey, Daryl said, Adam, Justin. Kevin said, okay, I will get my second channel. Thank you. 78 thumbs up. Lotus said, what's up, Adam? Carlos says, up, Grease. Jane said, hi, Mac. Boggy said, Lotus, it's a truck. Lawrence says, I found the right channel. Yes, you did. You're in the right place. We do this every day at 6 to 8. Jane said, hi, Adam. Boggy said, Jeeps make trucks too. Adam said, Lotus. Lotus said, it's a Jeep. Lotus said, not a truck. They do make a truck, but a Jeep's not a truck, I don't think. Lawrence says, I have a JW. Carlos said, it was insane, Pops. Yes, it was. I had fun, too. Jane said, Justin. Buggy says, I'm going to kick your ass, old man. I know. Lotus said, can I put 8-foot 2x4s in it? Says, hi, hello. Lotus says, not a truck. Here we go. Abs, A-U-B, Abs says, hi. Lawrence says, I'll be here. Thank you. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Yes, we have got 18 people, 78 thumbs up. Lotus said they did not. They did, but not that one. Kevin says, I will ask my dad to like as well. I don't know if he will get, if his is good with technology. Loretta says 2,000. Lotus said, Gladiator is a stretched out Jeep. Andrew said, hi. Hello, Andrew. And he said, hi again. Lotus said, everyone hit the like button. Yes. 14 people, 78 thumbs up. Adam said, Lotus, you would look right at home in a Gladiator. I agree with you, Adam. Jay said, Lawrence, where are you from? I asked because we are all from over the world. Daryl said, Lotus, his Jeep is not one of those new pieces of crap they sell now. It's a real Jeep. I think a minute ago it showed me JW. I think he meant, what is it, CJ? I think, but I could be wrong. I've got it on translate, and I don't know, sometimes it's read wrong. Adam said, hello, Lawrence. Lotus said, no. Kevin said, let's go 100 likes. Yes, please. That would be absolutely phenomenal for tonight. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Lawrence says, I'm in Michigan. We will. Let me find my pen. Here it is. I will write it down. Here we go. I'll show you in just a second. We do have a world map, and we put people in that come in and tell us where they're from. We do a pin in for them. James said, Lorenzo, Ohio here. Boggy says, ha, joke on you. Yeah, I can make them 2x4s fit. Lotus? Lawrence says, it was a real Jeep, straight 6. Boggy says, there, Pops, now you can't say you haven't seen my truck. I'll look at it in a few minutes. I've seen it come through. Thank you. Jane said, Andrew, be nice. Adam said, Lawrence, us in Ohio, guys, will forgive you for living in Michigan. Kevin said, please put my pen to my pen never got. Please put my pen to my pen never got on. Kevin, it should have. Where are you from? And I'll write it down. I don't do it when I'm on live unless Randy's here. But I keep a list, and usually when one of the kids are here, they put it up there for me. I always keep a list right here for that stuff like that. Let's see. John said, jump. Lotus said, if they're on your dash. Carlos said, I ordered some screws from the eBay store called Destruction Dad. Sounds like Phil. Lotus says, it's a nice looking Jeep. Brent says, I don't watch college football. Derek says, I'm from India. I will write that down. I don't remember seeing your name before, but we will put another. I'll be glad to put another pin in India. Thank you. Kevin said London. Kevin, I may be wrong. I'm going to write it down, but I'm about sure we have put one in for you. But I will look at it. Lawrence says, go Lions. Daryl said, be right back. Adam says, we still forgive you. Boggy said, Lawrence, minus a 1980 Jeep J10. 11 people, 78 thumbs up. We're going to be stuck on that, I believe. Corey says, Mr. Smith, what the hell happened there? The roof of our car barber is going freak. I have no idea. Don't even know what you're trying to say there. Jay said, most of us don't. It's more cars. I like trucks. Lotus said, that's not the Jeep you sent me last time. Jane said, India next to Ohio. When it says, I'm a gearhead. Awesome. Lotus said, that's a truck. Jane said, you'll fit in nice, Lawrence, even every day at 6 p.m. Lawrence says, I like restoring Harley Davidsons. We have 2 of those. Adam says, well, then, Lawrence, check a lot of our channels out. A lot of car channels in here. Yes, please do. Metal Art Customs do a lot of good work in his stuff. He also has more Mac. Grease Spot Garage has a beautiful car that Daryl done. He's also got a couple cars sitting in the garages there that he's got that looks awesome. Check all these channels out. Raccoon said hi. Hello, Raccoon. 17 people, 79 thumbs up. August the Lotus, what are you smoking? The Jeep I sent you last time? It's the Jeep I sent you last time. Carlos says, I'm feeling a bit anxious. Just have tested my sugar. Be right back. Brent says, oh yeah. Buggy says, I told you I could fit the 2x4s in my truck. Walton says, Kazakhstan, best nation, no other nation better alumni. If that's what you say, I have no idea. I've never been there, so I have to take your word for it. 13 people in here, 80 thumbs up. I'm going to tell y'all, that is absolutely phenomenal. I thank each and every one of y'all. Lovely says, I don't have a channel. Well, it says, I got a 1865 Harley Davidson running that came out of a barn. Oh, that'd be awesome. Show me your dishwater, says, correction, is the 14th best country in the Middle East. Jane said, Canada makes aluminum? I have no idea. N3 verse says, to be, or is that Drew knows? Dre, O'Ray, Verm-O'Ray. Lawrence said 1965. I was going to say, whoa. Three-wheeler said it's been, I's been here. What's up? Buggy says 42. Raccoon said my dreams being a storm chaser, whatever. Raccoon. Robin Hood said hi. I'm from. I'll write that down. Let's see. SERBA. If you wasn't in here, we do have a world map, and we put people's pins in to come in. Thank you for letting me know. Lotus said, I swear it was one of the 4 doors. Mr. Penguin said, shout me out, please. Jane said, hi, Max. I did. I said, Mr. Penguin. 6107. Lawrence says, how about the square body Chevy? We do have a 78. It's called Black Betty. Lovely said, Raccoon, I had a family member that used to do that. Jane says, welcome, Siberia. Chris Smith says, I live in Alcoa, Tennessee. We make aluminum here. We'll put a pin in for you too. Thank you. Lovely says, Buggy, 42 is 42. Three-wheeler says, hi, Jane. Bentley says, what's your name? It's Randy. 25 people, 82 thumbs up. Kevin said, I always wanted to be a bagger. I always wanted to have a bagger. Lovely says, welcome, Siberia. Robin says, Siberia is a country in Southeast Europe. All right. Lawrence says, shout out. John Deere said, we're at 80 likes. Hit the likes. Let's hit 100, please. I'm showing 82. Thank you. Madden says 42. Robin Hood said, thanks, guys. Madden says 1. Lee says, hello from East Texas. Love, we'll get a line in for Texas. A pin in, I mean. Lovely said, Bentley. That's right. That's Randy. Lawrence says, I love that song. Maiden said, see. Madden said, see. Lovely said, Madden's 42 is 42, by the way. James says, hi, Bentley. Madden says, 42. Lovely says, hi, Lee. Adam says, lovely. James says, welcome, Texas. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. We're showing 18 people, 82 thumbs up. Lawrence says, who likes the 1955? I like the 56 and 57 better, but I still like a 55. Madden says 100. Chris Smith says, I have a 1967 Chevy that's a work in progress. Awesome. Would love to see pics of it. You're welcome to put it in the community page if you got time. Let's see. Robin Hood said, what part of USA are you coming from? North Carolina. Adam said 55 is good, better than the 57. Lauren said, hit the like button. Kevin said, I'm here for you. Thank you. Jane said, Lawrence, pick me. Madden said, yee. Jane said, hi, Ohio here. Adam said, okay, 42, nope, sorry. Okay, 67 Chevy 2 is a dream car of mine. Lawrence says, hi, Jane. For a good time says, hey, can we see your butt? If you'll go look in the mirror, you'll see the closest thing to my butt. Madden said, hi. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Jane said, 65 Mustang's my dream car. Georgia said, hello from Orlando. I'll write that down. I don't remember seeing you in here before. If you do have a world map, we will put you in there. Lovely says, hi, Robin, Michigan. Adam said, Jane, that's what's wrong with you. Raccoon said, I got a YouTube channel too. Awesome. Well, we'll everybody jump over and help Raccoon Gamer get a subscribers up, please. Brent says, like, thank you. I'm showing 21 people, 82 thumbs up. Rapper says, I have a Mini Cooper S 2015. They're cool cars. Lovely said, Georgia, hello from Michigan. George, hello from Michigan. Manuel says 42. Cameron says, hi, hello, Cameron. Dabo says, get a real car like a Nissan Altima. Woo! You call that a real car? Lovely says, Manuel, 42 is 42 here. Jane, Adam, there's a whole lot of more wrong with me, LOL. Chris Smith says, I bought my old Nova from a little old lady and it had a tree that had fallen on it, so I got it in 2001 for $1,000, old 6-cylinder car. Rapper says, I'm from Italy. Let's write Italy down. Randy and them have a lot of pins to put in. Jonathan said, hello, Jonathan. Lucy says, yo, SpongeBob. Manuel says, I can't believe it's 2026. I know, ain't that bad. Kevin said, Stone Cold, you were my favorite. Well, thank you. James says, welcome, Italy. Lorena says, welcome. Lovely. Lucy says, debut, whatever. At least it's not a Ford. Chris Smith said, Italy in the house. Lucy B.O. said, I'm so tired. Raccoon said, I'm from Indiana. 20 people in here, 83 thumbs up. I think we put one in for you before, Raccoon, but I'll write it down again. Oh, we'll put ×2 here. We got one in here. Lucy B.O. said, I'm so sad I have school tomorrow. Lovely said, there's 2 Lucys here. Yeah, that's the reason I was trying to say Lucy B.O. because I knew you were in here too. Troy says 4. James said, Manuel, I remember when it took, we're panicking about going to 1990. I do too, Jane. We thought the world was going to end. Knight said, do a flip. I wished I could. Lovely said, Tuesday, Lucy. Lawrence said, I'm thinking about raising Jeep to a 6-inch lift. That'd be cool. Put wide wheels and tires all the way around it. Jonathan said, I'm from Texas. Everything's big in Texas. Adam said, Raccoon, you have done pretty good with your channel in 4 months. Congratulations. Let's see. I need to go see something right quick. Well, I don't know if either you haven't subbed to us or it hasn't showed up on our feed, but I just subbed to you, Raccoon. I don't know which one it is, but it doesn't matter. I give you a sub. Let's see, where am I at? Nestor said hi, hello. Lucy said, where's the other Lucy? It's lovely. It's lovely Lucy. I'm lovely T85. Her name's Lucy. V3Q says, to what extent do you believe your internal navigation is reliable map of objective reality universe and predict similar destination for your social utility? I have no idea what kind of question you're trying to ask me there. Sorry. Lucy B.O. says, you can say Lucy B. All right, Lucy B then. Lovely Lucy says, with. Andrew says, hi. Lovely Lucy says, my name is Lucy. Raccoon said, Grease, thank you. Lucy B says, oh, hi, other Lucy. How does it feel to be named after me? It says, Lowell, right. I think it came from Texas. Troy says, SCV. 16 people, 83 thumbs up. All these new people, hit the thumbs up for us. Help us out a little bit. We're trying to climb the chart tonight. Adam said, sub you, Raccoon. Billet says, my cousin Gabe owners had 2 dads. Okay, that's their situation, not ours. Lovely Lucy says, Lucy, I didn't know until today that it was whatever, no offense. Jane said, well, Lawrence, if it's in good condition, you know it's from the south. Everything up here is rusted out. Lawrence says, no rust, California model. Lucy B says, I don't take offense. Lowell, I might actually be named after you, though I don't know. Troy says, what state are you in? North Carolina. Lovely Lucy says, get him to 107. It would be a new record. Yes. Well, we just went to 86. 22 people in there. 86. Thank y'all. John Deere said, Lucy, remind me of show Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. You got some explaining to do. Ricky Ricardo, I love that show. I did too. Lovely Lucy's laughing. Lawrence says, lovely Michigan here. It's cold, baby. It's cold outside. Adam says, gotta get going, Randy. Have a great night, brother. You too, Adam. Thank you for stopping in and appreciate the like. Have a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. Lucy B said, this is so funny. I love this channel. Well, thank you, Lucy B. Lovely Lucy said, SCV Michigan here. Jane said, take care, Adam. 18 people, 86 thumbs up. Chris said, Jane, you too. Lucy B said, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. You're not talking too much. I try to read everybody's comment. If you're willing to comment, I'm willing to read it. Let's see. Lawrence says, we love Lucy. SCV, Troy says, thumbs up. Lovely Lucy says, welcome to the family, Lucy. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Lucy B says, thank you, Lucy. Jane says, from Ohio here. 16 people, 86 thumbs up. Lovely Lucy says, some of us chat more often. Yes. Doesn't bother me a bit in the world. I like it when it starts rolling. I may you'll see, if you hang around here long enough, you'll see I get to rolling. I'll mess up stuff, and people like to poke fun at me, but I do try to read everything and try to get it going good. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Lucy B says, I'm from California, but you might already have that. It doesn't matter if you're from California. I'll write it down. I'll write it down. Sorry. That's another pen in California. Well, that reminds me of I Love Lucy. Yes, Lucy, lovely Lucy says, I found myself a new friend. Yeah, isn't that awesome? That's what this channel is all about, meeting new people. coming in here discussing it for 2 hours every day and being able to get rid of the reality of the world to come in here and have a good time. Jane said Grease Spot Garage is Ohio, Lotus is Ohio, Metal Art Customs is Ohio. Jane said Lucy B, I was just out there visiting my sister down by San Diego. Lovely Lucy said Daryl Art Customs also goes by Mac or Daryl's, but some people call him Sandy Sanders. McSander, yeah. Pearl said, smiley face, thank you, Pearl. How about hitting the like button for me, please? Let's get this thing on up in the air for me. I'm showing 14 people, 86 thumbs up. Lucy B said, my mom named me after I love Lucy and while you were sleeping. Brent said, that's all I want for my channel. Lovely Lucy, I have no idea what that is. Lucy B says, Ohio, I live pretty close to San Diego. Jane said, Pops, you need to fly into San Diego. Those pilots are like cowboys coming in for landing. It would be cool. 12 people in here, 87 thumbs up. I'd like to fly sometime. And I'd like to go out there and see the redwoods. I don't know where San Diego is to the redwoods. I think that's what you call them. But I really want to see those trees where you can drive through. Lotus says, going to run, state time. Have a good night. See you, Lotus. Thank you for stopping in. Your girl says, what football team do you like? I really don't care for football. It doesn't bother me. I did watch a game today because Chester come over here, and Chester wanted to sit there and watch a ball game, and I sat there and watched it with Chester. He really enjoyed it. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Jane said, Lucy, she's in Fallbrook. SCB said, SCB from Georgia. Jane said, take care, Lotus. Lovely Lucy said, just like Grease Spot Garage goes by GSG or Adam. Carlos said, I'm sorry, Lotus. Sorry for calling you an a-hole. Just joking, bro. John Deere said, name of the Redwoods, Sequoia National Park in California. I want to go there and see it. Jane said Redwoods up north. Lucy B said I'm closer to San Diego, though I go there a lot. I am a 45-minute drive to the Sharks ice skating ring. John Deere said I've been to Sequoia National Park. I don't know if that's supposed to be Randy. And Logan 4242 said hi. Lawrence said, I didn't bother watching the lines. I'm disappointed. Lovely Lucy said, Lucy, you should meet us all at Daryl Metal Art Customs at 8. Yes, at 8 o'clock, everybody goes over to Metal Art Custom and watches his premiere. He does a premiere usually Sunday through Friday. Saturday night, he usually don't do one. But and we let it run a little over on here sometime. But at 8 o'clock, we get off of here and go over to the Daryl Metal Art Customs premiere. Lovely says it's 30 minutes tonight. Jane says, Lowell, professional football is overrated, overpaid. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. I'm showing 13 people, 88 thumbs up. Lucy B says, I was actually just by the Sharks Stadium recently. I was also there for a Linkin Park concert in September. Lovely Lucy said he restores classic cars, built custom vehicles, and is really good with AI music. His channel is awesome. You should join us. It's where the family goes at 8 p.m. and you really will be welcome there too. Daryl said 33 minutes tonight, 1 hour and 24 minutes tomorrow. John Deere said, come on guys, let's hit 90 likes. Let's hit the like button, please. Let's see. LXC said, say what's up, Maxie, for a like. What's up, Maxie, for a like? Lucy B said, sorry, I can't. I have to get up real early tomorrow, and I have some work I do today, maybe next time. Man, it dropped down quick. 9 people, 88 thumbs up. I said what CXP said, but I don't see my light going up. But oh well, I tried. Lawrence says, I will sub to you guys. Thank you. Raccoon says, I have my first basketball practice for Special Olympics. Awesome. Real member says, chilling on the last few days before life starts up again. Drive by Amanda says, I cannot wait to die so I don't have to look at your page ever again. You don't have to now. You can hit that. These things have little wheels on them. You can keep scrolling. Daryl said, Jane, all sports are overrated unless it's for fun. Real member said, being a member is tough work. Drive by said, open. Jane said, Lucy, it's 8 p.m., so it's 7:30 here now. Lucy B said, 13 people now. Yep, and I am showing 89 likes, so somebody hit the like. Thank you. Lucy, lovely Lucy said, that's okay, Lucy. Then they stay on his channel. You can always watch it later. Lawrence says, change channel. At 8 o'clock, everybody goes over to Metal Art Customs. I try my best not to run over on his time. Most of the people that come into ours are in his too. We help each other out. Drive by Amanda said, well, Lawrence says, you don't like? We all like. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. 15 people, 89 thumbs up. Jane said, Daryl, you're correct, and now they pay high school athletes. Daryl says, going to smoke. Be right back. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Lovely said, Lawrence is going to take at least 24 hours for him to go live on his second account. Lucy B says, I do have to go, but I'll try to pop in next time. Bye. Be good, Lucy B. Thank you for stopping in and appreciate your help. Lawrence says, I like him and his channel. Well, thank you. 14 people, 89 thumbs up. Jane said, take care, Lucy. Wait a minute, I missed Boggy. Boggy said, some crackhead Karen just came and started yelling at my kids for playing outside in the cold. What the hell is this place? What the hell is this place running on? Stupidity. Jane said, take care, Lucy. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Loretta says, I'm confused. Can I go live now? I don't know how many you got. You should be. If you have never went live, when you try to go live, it usually takes 24 hours for YouTube to let you go. You have to let them know you're trying to go live, and then they have to come back to you. Lovely Lucy says, bye, friend. American Eagle Outdoors. I switched channels, Randy. There's your thumbs up. It's me, John Deere Fake Turbo. 11 people in here, 90 thumbs up. Thank you, Jacob. Buggy said, clearly a damn kid can't even play outside without being ran back in their home nowheres. Nope, that's what's so wrong with the country. Brian said, I forgot what we were talking about. I have the memory of a gnat. We were talking about the thumbs up. Everybody's trying to hit the thumbs up button and get us to some, we're trying to get to 100. I'd like to see at least 107 tonight, but that'd be the record for our lives. Lawrence says, I have only like 40 subs. I think you got to have 50, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me see what you got here. You got 41 now. Buggy said she was just lucky Annie gift got to her first. Jane said, bye, Brian. Hi, Brian, not bye. Jacob said, what's up, everybody? Hit the like button. Yeah, 13 people, 90 thumbs up. Marlon says, bro, chill. No, man, we got it going on right now. Boggy says, you meant a gnat. Lovely Lucy says, they have to make sure you're not a bot and live for the age of 16. Also, only if you have 50 or more subscribers. Jane said, lol, it's a gnat with a G. Lawrence said, thanks, bro. You're welcome. Lovely Lucy says, but this live is for all ages. Yes, I think the youngest one I remember is 8. Jane's our oldest member. She helped take care of Jesus when he was around. So Jane is the mother of everybody here. I'm playing Jane. Let's see. Boggy said Nat. Lovely Lucy said make shorts until you get 50 subscribers. Boggy said that's how I spell Nat. Is it Kathy? Do you tap Beaver? Hit the tap button for me, please. Thumbs up. Jane said, okay. Boggy said, Jane. Baby said, Jesus. Jane said, I created dirt. That's right. 12 people in here, 90 thumbs up. We got 20 minutes. Can we get her done tonight? That would be awesome. I feel like I have all my blood rushed to my head. I have been reading and going so quick. Like y'all kept me on my toes tonight. I hope I haven't messed up too bad. 14 people, 90 thumbs up. Call a friend for me. Let's hit these like buttons, please. Let's see. Lovely Lucy said 107 likes. Y'all, like you said, hey, Jane, it's makeup, just colored dirt. Jacob said, hit the like button, guys, please. Jane said, I'm the second oldest fan. Chester is older. Yeah, but Chester don't come into the lives. He comes here, but he does not do any. He doesn't even own a phone. They charged him too much, and he took the phone out of his house, took it to the phone company, and told them they could have it. Let's see. Lawrence said, you guys make me feel welcome. Well, you are welcome. In this live, everybody's welcome as long as they keep it respectful. Lovely Lucy says, all my family blocked me. Fire department, hey people, I have returned. Welcome, fire department. Hit that like button for me, please. Lawrence says, I'm 46 and I'm 56. Jacob said, always, Law. Boggy said, Chester is young. He believes he's young. Yes. He came over here today and wanted me, we were sitting there talking about that soup. And I told him I was out of crackers. He said, let's go to the store. So he handed me the keys. I had to drive him in the truck to the store. Yesterday was his birthday, so I went ahead and bought his groceries for him. Let's see. Jane said, but he's a fan of yours. Yes. Jane said, hi, Ryan. Buggy said, I believe he's young. Fire department said, yes, sir. There it went. Just went to 91. Thank you. 13 people. 91 thumbs up. Thank you. Raccoon said, I'm 25. You're younger than my oldest boy. You're the same age as my middle boy. Jane said, Lucy, why did they block you? Fire department said, I also have big news. Talk to me, fire department. What's up? Jane said, Ryan, what's the news? Boggy said, you talked above being noble, which I'm not you out here paying for that old man's groceries. Well, yesterday was his birthday. I did it for his birthday. Ryan says, I get to call someone in my family a probie now. Okay. Jacob says, I'm 33. Bahar said, where's the Pepsi? Right here. I got it in the cup. Let's see. Lorenz says, we are getting here by, my boys are 22 and 18. 12 people in here, 91 thumbs up. John Fuller says, do a floss. I don't know what that is. Daryl said, how's Boggy tonight? Lorenz says, I am old. No, you ain't old. Raccoon said, my real name is Damon. Well, hello. Bahar says, do you have experience in converting regular cars into electric cars? No, I don't know nothing about that. 17 people, 91 thumbs up. Y'all hit the thumbs up for me, please. Daryl said 39, 38, 28, 22 are mine. Fire department says my younger brother is stepping into the ring of fire on the fire service. Awesome. John said dance. I wished I could. Lynn said my girls are 5. My girl is 5. John Fuller says do a dance. I wished I could. 14 people, 91 thumbs up. Andrew says, can you give a shout out? I give a shout out, but I'm not trying to say all that. I don't know what you're trying to get me to say there. And if you're not trying to get me to say something, it's too much bullcrap for me to try to figure out. Jacob said, Randy, don't forget to check out my song I made about your truck, all right? Annie says, Boggy, may I add, you came to and but you bought an old lady's groceries for her last time I visited, and may I add, you're taking all your money you made and are giving it to Izzy's mom. And he said charity. John said try to. Nah. Raccoon said, how are you? I'm doing great. Hope you are. Lawrence says, never thought I would have kids in my 40s. The Carmel family says, the Cram family says hi, hello. Lovely Lucy said, guys, like the live, get him to 107. Yeah, we're showing 51 and 91. 15 and 91. These new people coming in are not hitting the like button for me. They must be just coming in and talking. They don't want to hit the like button. They must not like what I'm doing. Jane said my oldest granddaughter is 20. Lovely says, hi, Cram. Fire department retracted his message. Boggy said, shut up, Annabelle. You're not helping. John says, do you play games? I do not. Jacob said, be nice, Buggy. Fire department said, Lord, it's hard getting older, being the oldest child. Drama said, any advice for a young buck looking to get into rattlesnake appraisal? Be very careful, don't get bit. Lovely says, voila. What did Annabelle do, Buggy? Lauren said, hit likes. We had 2 taken back. Here we go, taking the likes back again. 16 people, 89 likes. Let's see. Jane said, Lawrence, twins? Buggy says, hell no, I'm never nice. Raccoon said, I play games. Lawrence said, yes. Identical. Awesome. That's why, okay. I missed that a minute ago when you said they were 5 and you had S on the girls. It went over my head. I'm sorry. Lovely Lucy said, drummer Randy does not like snakes. No, but if that's what you want to do, please don't get bit. Lovely says, yes, Buggy, you can be very nice. Yes, he can. Buggy said, Mac, I'm a mix of emotions with a mask. Jacob said, well, everybody's taking back their likes now. I was hoping to hit 91 for Randy. Timothy said, your mama thick. I like thick women. All right. Yeah, they're taking them back. It's going down now. So I don't know why people do that, but whatever. If that's what they, like you said, some people like playing games, but it's all good. Boggy said, sorry, Annabelle, stupid autocorrect. Lawrence says, Lowell, it happens, bro. Daryl says, I understand, but you're strong. Damn, we all the way down to 83. I had 91 likes, and there's that many people taking them back. Wow. Jacob said, hit the like button, guys. Timothy said, yeah, boy. Buggy says, y'all are smoking something. I'm greedy as hell. Lawrence said, anyone getting confused? Lovely says, are they really? Yeah, they are. It's all the way down to 83. If you're talking to me. Now it's down to 81. I've lost 10 likes. Lawrence says, they don't take any likes away. Yeah, they do. It's all the way down to 91. It was at 91. Lovely says, 1 Second, going to make sure my 2 accounts have these likes. Daryl said down to 78. Yep, I'm showing 77. People's taking them back like crazy. Timothy says, sorry, my brother had my phone. It's fine. Lovely says, yes, I was talking to you, Randy. Lawrence says, I lost subs. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why people do that. And he said, wow, you misspelled my name. How dare you? Lovely Timothy, like it, please. 77. Man, y'all had me going, and y'all did the same thing last night. I don't know if it's y'all are doing it or if it's YouTube. Timothy says, can you spell iCup? Yeah, I can. Lawrence said, it's acting up, I think. Lawrence says, it's acting up, I think. Jacob said, it's down to 77 likes, saying people can't leave like buttons alone and just help people. Tim said, I did. It's down to 76. 20 people in here, 76 thumbs up. Paul, you said, I use us it breaking. He's if you use the orbit gun. Andrew said, I spell I cup. 18 people, 75. They're going downhill. Larry said, share the love, people. Jacob said, now it went down to 75. Wow, it's a shame people can't help people. Laura said, this is what happened to me. And he says, no, absolutely not. The where willies are more than enough. Lovely says, all my accounts have it liked. Thank you. It's went down to 74 now. We were so close, but oh well, I guess when it climbs fast, it falls fast. It's all good. I'm happy y'all come in. I enjoyed the live no matter what. We got 9 minutes. If they feel like that's what they want to do, that's them and theirs. It's down to 72. Lawrence says, I'm liking. Lovely says, hi. Buggy says, oh yeah, I forgot. My finger still has pork juice on it. Lawrence says, hit the thumbs up. I got fun stuff for Christmas. Awesome. What'd you get, fire department? 18 people. 73 thumbs up. I just don't believe that many people's taking them back. I think that's YouTube doing something, because that's 20 likes that I've lost. I just don't. I believe something's going on. Anyway. And he said, Nicholas, you dear, I'll whoop you worse than I whoop my kids. Lovely says, hi. Lawrence says, I was very upset earlier. Lovely, same here. I can't believe that. It's all the way down to 68 now. Oh, well. It was fun while it lasted. Fire department said I got 2 live flashbangers, gas mask, a plate carrier, with live 4 plates and a bunch of other stuff. Cool. Daryl said it has to be YouTube. That's what I'm saying. It's all the way down to 6-7 now. Probably because I always say 42. If I ain't careful, it'd go down to 42. Boggy says, fine, I'll teach your son how to give you a wet willy. Lawrence says, my friends, I have unsubscribed, then they didn't. Bick said, NDB Project Chat, hello, Bick. Manuel said, what did you get for Christmas? I got one little plaque that says Chevrolet, and then Randy bought me one of these things I wanted around here for something. That's all I got. Let's see. Daryl said, Big. Lovely said, is this the way to tell who liked and who didn't? No, not that I know of. And he said, what did I do to deserve this? I've been nothing but kind. Lovely says, hi, Big. Jane says, hi, Big. Big said, Art. Art says, I had to resubscribe. Big said, hey, it's me, Jane. Manuel said, hey, I got a Nintendo. Awesome. 10 people in here, 69 thumbs up. We got 5 more minutes. Daryl says, climbing back up. I'm showing 69. Maybe you never know. Boggy says, hey, you're my cousin, so this is law of nature. B, don't lie. See, you made me eat, and I wasn't hungry, which was torture. Jane said, the real Big who likes Ford. Daryl said, that means she cares. Buggy. Lawrence says, huh? 14 people, 70 thumbs up. Big said, Jane. Daryl said, 70. Yeah, I see it. It says, showing 70, I'm just as happy. I mean, normally they're around 50. So if I can get one more, at least stop it at 71, that's all good. Daryl says, Jacob says, no, I like Chevrolet, not Fords. Boggy says, maybe Wet Willies is my showing carrying. Fire department said also got some 50 shells. Cool. Lawrence says I prefer Chevy. Lovely said way to go Eagle. Lovely said way to go Lawrence. Boggy says I like me a F-O little RD Mustang. Jane said, Big like Chevrolet and not Fords, too, just picking. Lawrence says, I worked on a few. Lovely says, I cannot knock Fords. One of my family members used to work there, but I like Chevys a lot more, so it doesn't matter. Annie says, do you like Volvos? I do have a Volvo car. I am taking a part off of putting it on my Camaro, and I do have a Volvo semi-truck. Lovely said, yes, he has one, I think. Yep. Daryl said, there's my Volvo. Daryl said he has 2 Volvos. Yep. Randy installed an air conditioner on top of one of them. Lovely says, well, no, Daryl just stole it. Lawrence says, I used to have a 1968 Lincoln Continental when my grandfather gave me. That'd be cool. And he says, do you have Volvo dealer near you? I think there's one in Greensboro. That's about 30, 45 minutes from here. Jane said, I want one specific Ford, and all my friends know which one. Daryl said, I stole what? Jesus said, hello. Hello, Jesus. Lawrence says, suicide doors. Oh, that would be awesome. Jesus said, yes, I redid the room. Jane said, Jordan. Andy says, really, Mac, they all look like Fords to me. 9 people in here, 71 thumbs up. We got 1 minute to go. Can anybody else give me one that hasn't already? Have you ever seen a Genesis? Yeah. I've seen a few. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for Daryl's premiere. Everybody jump over to Metal Art Customs and watch his premiere. I do appreciate it. We got all the way up to 91 for whatever reasons. We're going to end up with 71 tonight. But I appreciate all of y'all coming in, talking and chatting and giving me the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. And the high of getting to 91 was awesome. So y'all have a good day, good night whenever you're watching this. And remember, keep it silly. Thank you.